Ever notice how the simple things always end up spiraling out of control? I came out this morning, I've been doing a lot of work on this car, so I came out this morning to do a couple of quick things. It was running a little rich, so I decided to check the timing, make sure that was right on, and then do a quick adjustment on the carburetors, which spiraled into this coming off the car. What a pain. Now, prior to rebuilding these carbs a couple of years ago and replacing the gross jet ball valves with the Viton tipped needle valve, I had tons of problems with those gross jet valves sticking open, the needle valve sticking open. And the result of that is when you turn the key on, the fuel pump comes on, gas starts spraying out of the vent hole because the float is not closing the needle valve off. So a couple of years ago, on the advice of well, pretty much everybody who's dealt with this, said throw those things away, put the Viton tip needle valves in there, which I did, and these things have been running perfectly for years. So I come out this morning to do my little timing check and adjust the balance in the mixture on the carburetors. And now, granted, I've been driving this car almost every day for the last, well, month or so, doing some work, tuning it up, testing it out, and I've been doing a lot of driving, and it's been flawless. This morning, come in to do a quick adjustment, and it turns into this, because I turn the key on, the fuel pump comes on, gas is spraying out of the vent again. So give it a couple of wraps with a back of a screwdriver. No help. So here we are, pulling the carburetors apart again. So it's very difficult to make progress on simple things when they turn into this. All right, I got the carburetor back on the car. I cleaned it. I put it all back together, tested the needle valve and seat on the bench, and it looks like it works great by blowing in the fuel line and just lifting the float up and down. Also turned it upside down to make sure the float was rising and falling freely. So now it's time to give it a shot. Well, British car owners, if you know, you know. The struggle is real. Well, pretty frustrating. Put it back on the car, doing the same thing. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's been running perfectly. Then out of the blue this morning, turned on the ignition, gas spraying. So I'm gonna have to go inside and have another cup of coffee and think about that for a while. Okay, one more thing. It has become abundantly clear to me that I made a grave error in one of my last few videos when I said that I'm running out of shit to do to this car. I kind of put that out there in the universe, and the universe is providing. I love doing this work so much that I'm doing it again. So I took the carburetor back off, took it apart again, and I found that the problem is not here with the needle valve, it's here with this little float. So when I took this apart the first time, I shook it. Look at that. There's your problem right there. It's full of gas. Now, when I took it apart the first time, I didn't see that little bubble in there. And I took it apart and I shook it, and I didn't hear anything in there because I know these cars, not so much these, but the older HS carburetors with the side floats have a little brass float in them. Those tend to get pinholes and leak. But I've not had a problem with the plastic ones before. So anyway, I took it out, I gave it a shake, listened to it, didn't hear anything rattling around in it, did not see that bubble. I don't know if that bubble was there last time or if it just happened. Whoops, if it just happened recently. I can't see where it's leaking. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Somewhere right in there on that crack. Anyway, like I was saying, I did not notice that. That's my fault. The float is small and it's very light. Even when it's full of gas, it's light. Yeah, see that? bubble's bigger now that I squeezed some gas out of it. I don't think that bubble was in there this morning. I think it was completely full. But that's the problem. I'm going to go ahead and order a float. I'm going to order two because that one's sinking. I don't want to be on the side of the road with the other one sinking. Those are not cheap. That's about a $45 piece of plastic right there. So anyway, I'm going to order two of those, put the carburetors back together, back on the car. We'll be back in business.